Federal judges have issued a series of significant rulings against the current administration, finding violations of law at a remarkable pace of approximately one every 4 days, according to detailed analysis from The Washington Post. This pattern of judicial intervention spans numerous policy areas and has resulted in increasingly pointed criticism from the bench, highlighting a growing tension between executive actions and legal constraints. The Washington Post's senior political reporter Aaron Blake has documented these cases, which demonstrate a consistent pattern where courts have found the administration either definitively violated the law or was likely to have done so. These legal challenges encompass a broad spectrum of administrative actions, including attempts to freeze federal funding, terminate federal workers' employment, restrict diversity initiatives, challenge established interpretations of birthright citizenship, limit transgender rights, and modify immigration procedures without proper legal review. The judicial responses have been notably forceful, with many judges issuing preliminary injunctions to halt administrative actions pending full legal review. What makes these rulings particularly significant is not just their frequency but the clarity with which judges have characterized the violations. Rather than presenting these as complex legal questions, many judges have described the administration's actions as blatantly illegal, suggesting that little serious effort was made to provide legal justification for these policies. The Department of Justice's legal representation has faced particularly harsh criticism from the federal bench. A striking example occurred in March when U.S. District Judge William Alsup issued what Slate described as a furious rebuke regarding the administration's handling of probationary worker terminations. Alsup didn't mince words, characterizing the firings as a sham designed to circumvent legal requirements. He went further, accusing the Justice Department of filing false declarations and publicly stating that he felt deliberately misled by government attorneys. The pattern of judicial confrontation continued this week with Judge James Boasberg's pointed exchange regarding the administration's handling of Venezuelan deportees. The judge expressed incredulity at DOJ lawyers' apparent disregard for his direct order to return a plane of deportees to the United States. Boasberg's frustration was evident in his rebuke. "So when I said directly turn the plane around, you read it because my written order was pithier, this could be disregarded. That's a heck of a stretch." These judicial findings have significant implications for administrative policy implementation. The courts have repeatedly found themselves compelled to intervene across various policy areas, from immigration enforcement to federal employment practices to civil rights protections. The consistency and frequency of these adverse rulings, approximately one every 4 days, suggests not isolated incidents but a systematic pattern of legally questionable administrative actions. The administration's response to these judicial checks has been confrontational, with President Trump characterizing the judges as rogue actors attempting to strip him of executive powers. This characterization, however, contrasts sharply with the detailed legal reasoning provided in many of these rulings, where judges have carefully outlined the specific ways in which administrative actions have failed to comply with legal requirements. The ongoing tension between executive authority and judicial oversight has become a defining feature of current administrative policy implementation. Federal judges have repeatedly stepped in to halt what they view as legally questionable administrative actions, often expressing frustration not just with the policies themselves but with the government's legal arguments and conduct in defending them. This pattern of judicial intervention, combined with the strong language used in many of these rulings, underscores the court's serious concerns about the administration's approach to legal compliance and respect for established legal procedures.